welcome to another edition of Sitting Down with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs. We are here in East Columbus at Kendrick High School, and I'm here with the AD, Coach Andre Dye. Coach, thank you for joining us.
I appreciate you having me on.
Now, we've done this for 3 years in a row now. It's always fun just to catch up with you and to find out some of the things that's going on at Kendrick. And I tell you what, Coach, before we talk about Kendrick, just talk about a little bit about your background because you are a Kendrick alum.
Yes.
Just talk about like what year you graduated, how long you been coaching.
Well, I mean, I graduated in 2001, so it's been quite a while since I walked these halls as a student. But I walk the halls now as an athletic director, head boys basketball coach. I'm from the area. I've been coaching since I was 18, so I haven't really put the years to date right now, but it's been a while. And I'm a Kendrick alumni, so I love the school to death. Like being able to make an impact for those that come underneath me, being able to pay forward the blessings that I receive. That's my goal. That's what I try to do every day.
Absolutely. And this is your fifth year as the athletic director of
Yeah,
Kendrick?
going into my fifth year over here at Kendrick. I was previously at East Columbus, and before that, I served at Baker Middle School as athletic director, head boys basketball. When I was at East Columbus, I did boys basketball. I did a little everything: cross country, boys basketball, football, flag football girls. We introduced that track. So I mean, the list goes on and on in coaching.
Right.
When you're coaching in Muskogee County, you pretty much get ready to coach anything.
Well, speaking of East Columbus, there's something unique about this side of town. East Columbus,
Yeah.
home to Shirley B. Winston Recreational Park. A lot of great athletes came up there. Also, the home to Sally Little League.
Yeah.
You talk about Woodruff Soccer Complex. Just talk about just the athlete that grows up in this area and how they're able to have a place to go to, like Shirley B. Winston Recreational Center, and then just being
Sure.
up in Sally Little League and eventually Kendrick.
Oh man, as I said, I'm from the area, so I got a weird story about Shirley B. Winston. I like to say I'm the first person to score a basket in that gym.
Nice.
Yeah, we went in there when they were doing the construction and everything, and my one of my close childhood friends, God bless him dead, Jason Boynton, he may have a different outlook on it because he thinks he made the first one, but we ran and I know I got him. But man, having those outlets for the youth these days is extremely important. It's cool to have them at practice. It's cool to be able to see them grow and stuff like that. But having them to have those outlets away from me as the coach, being with your peers and being able to do something constructive with your time, that's extremely important because the development, yes, it comes when you're at practice, it comes when you're in your educational institute, but those structures away from Kendrick, away from your school, those are the biggest things. Those are the things that we pretty much need to cherish the most as our youth days growing up. So being able to have those outlets, man, they're extremely important.
No, absolutely. And one thing that I do want to talk about is the history of Kendrick because there's a lot of championships. You had a baseball championship in the 70s, a football championship in 92.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we know about the dominant run from girls basketball for an
Sure.
entire decade, multiple Final Fours, multiple championships under legendary Coach Hicks. But let's go ahead and talk about the GHSA, and they have the new rule that's coming out, the transfer portal. So basically, they're saying when you enter the ninth grade, if you transfer more than once, you have to sit out a year. How is this going to affect Kendrick? And also, to caveat on that, you have to actually provide proof of address that you actually live in the area that you are going to high school. Just elaborate a little bit on how that's going to affect Kendrick.
Well, Kendrick is, I like to say, one of the most hidden gems, but it's really not a hidden gem. Everybody in the city knows that this area, we carry majority of the student athletes. You go to all the other schools, you'll see a lot of our local kids that live in this neighborhood, this area. They're thriving and doing well at other schools. So we have the opportunity for growth. That was one of my selling points when I decided to come here was that Hey, look, we have opportunity to grow, to thrive, to develop true talent if we can just get the kids to stay. Get the kids from, and I'm not just talking about staying as 10th graders, because we're like a transient student based school. We have a lot of kids coming in, going out for various reasons. Family stability is important. So a lot of them, they're trying to basically survive and do what they have to do. So you lose a lot of kids to economic status. But some they make the move, they go and they think what's best for them, not really knowing what they have being offered at our school. We have great coaches. Being honest, we have a great atmosphere within the building. The vibe on the facilities, on everything becoming new. I mean, we're in one of the newer offices now. You have they painted the whole building. It's just like it's almost transforming from being an alumni to seeing where the building is now. If I was to walk in and say I graduated in '01 and this is my first time coming in, man, it's a huge transformation from where we was to where we are now. So yeah, that transfer portal is going to be key. Hopefully we can and I say transfer portal, uh, but I know that's a college term, but in high school, you got a lot of kids choosing their magnets, choosing where they want to go. So I think it's going to help us a lot with them have to provide the proof of address and all that. But ultimately, we want kids that want to be here, kids that want to be here, that want to work, because we do work. Yeah, sometimes they say too hard, but
Yeah.
uh, I know what it takes in order to develop kids from where they are to where they want to go, and hopefully that carries off from me to my coaching staff as well.
Right. We're going to go ahead and step aside and take a break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the fall sports right here on Sitting with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
And welcome back to Sitting Down with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs, live from Kendrick High School with Coach Andre Dye. Now let's dive into the fall sports, and we're going to start with football because it really is the tone setter for the
Sure.
upcoming athletic season. And we're going to start with football, led by their coach, Emmanuel Mayo Brown. It's
Correct.
his second year as the Kendrick football coach, and had a pretty good start to start the season. Had that win against the Walker School,
Hmm.
and ended up finishing 2-8. But saw a lot of growth, especially
Sure.
players like Tavion Leonard and Tristan Mitchell. Bukari Little's also part of that team, but he's gone
Hmm.
on to graduate. Just talk about, as I pulled up to the parking lot, the football team was practicing. So Coach Mayo has got them working hard this summer. Just talk about the progression of the football team and what's to look forward to this upcoming season under Coach Mayo year two.
Man, Coach Mayo's a ball of energy, man. It reminds me of myself when I was younger, and I can get out there. He's demonstrating with the kids. A lot of that it carries over into the students. They feed off that energy, and then his coaching staff they feed off of what he's trying to bring forward. So I mean, I'm extremely excited about what we got coming up for this up and coming year. Once again, we had to play the same schedule we had last year because it's year two within our region. So it's one of those moments where you can actually see us take a huge leap because of the work that they put on in the off season. And I'm talking about from the weight room, huge transformation. Kids, they're loving the weight room now. They're loving that opportunity to get in there and just become better. Their confidence is growing. Academically, they understanding that the challenge is more than just on the field. That it's a game in life that they're embracing now. So I'm excited to see what we got going on in football. We say we got a huge coaching staff that I think all of them are going to feed off of. And as I said, it's just excitement to see what the future holds.
And by the way, those first two games against the Walker School and Best Academy, you get them at home this year. So we're pulling for Kendrick to hopefully start the year 2-0.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we talk about this region they're going to be in. I mean, obviously with the likes of Carver, Spencer, and Shaw. You also have Hardaway, Columbus, Jordan, and we can't forget about Sumter County.
Oh yeah, it's a tough
Still a tough
region.
region.
A tough
Um,
region.
but just talk about that game day atmosphere. I mean, obviously the Kendrick band, which we see them at Columbus Lions
Yeah.
games, just the game day cheerleading, and the Kendrick fans that come out to Otis Spencer Stadium, and sometimes Kinnett. But just talk about just that game day atmosphere that really gets that football team excited.
Man, I'm gonna just be honest with you. The support is key, man. When I speak of support, I'm talking about we have the cheerleader led by Alexis Jones. She's awesome. She's awesome. I mean, she's like the backbone of the program, the one behind the scenes, always making things happen for us. We're gonna have a new band director this year because Miss Todd, she put on for the city while she was here. But I think she has created an atmosphere, left a legacy here at Kendrick that the people are going to follow up. And the buzz that we're getting from the alumni now. Oh man, the alumni they're starting to show up practices, just coming by asking what can they do, donating things like that. They're huge for morale builders within the program, not just football but overall. So I think that we're getting the support from the community. I think that the people that are in place to help lead us, they're doing a tremendous job at building. So when you think of fall football, it is the tone setter for the school, and I think we're going to get a good start this year.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk volleyball. As the team made the playoffs last year, went 11-10,
Yeah.
and did lose in the first round of the playoffs to Burke County. But you saw improvements from the volleyball team. Talk about who the volleyball coach is this year, and when does the season start? Because it seems like volleyball is that first sport when we have students coming back to school. But what are you looking forward to about this upcoming volleyball season, and who the coach is?
Well, Angela Long, she's going to remain the girls volleyball coach. I think she's really passionate about what she's doing. She did get the girls to the state last year, and with us being in the region that we're in, it's tough. Trying to make 1 through 4, it's always going to be tough. It's one of those things that you have to. You gotta understand that you're going to be up against talent every night, night in and night out. But the way that the GHSA has structured the power rankings, I think that's a huge benefit to us because it doesn't just go with the top 4 anymore. Now, let's say we're in a tough region, and of course, we got powerhouses at the top of our region. So with us competing against them, they use the point spread, and they factor it out so that we wind up making the playoffs, which is what we did last year in volleyball and in basketball. So I try to push that to my football team as well, let them know because yeah, we're going to be up against some tough talent, but all that's doing is preparing you for the state tournament, and that's the ultimate goal. You want to make it there, and then you never know what happens. The Cinderella story can be any day.
Oh, absolutely, Coach. Now a sport that's near and dear to your heart, cross country.
Yeah,
So you've coached cross country before,
absolutely.
and with the facilities down in the valley over
Yeah.
there, plenty of place to move and have your cross country runners just run all over this campus. But who's the cross country coach this year, and what are we looking forward to about getting some possible meets in the future?
Well, one thing I've learned as being an athletic director is that you try to develop and build not only students but coaches as well. And I seen an opportunity. Yes, I was the cross country coach at one point, but I saw an opportunity with this being year 5 last year for Kelly Coney to step in.
Right.
Kelly Coney's an outstanding, not just cross country but track overall. He's one of the top coaches in our area. And I said, hey, look, man, if you want to step in, take the reins, I'll give it to you. You just let me know, and so I can get out your way because I don't want to be stepping on your toes, and I know the job that you can do. Can you take us to that next level? And so, I mean, he embraced it. First day out there, he's out there outrunning the kids. I said, man, I did made the right decision because he's passionate about what he's doing. That's the main thing of being an athletic director is you try your best to guide people within their passion. You want to push them in a direction so that when they feel that it's more than just a game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is their love. This is what they like to do. So I had that opportunity. Kelly Coney stepped in, and he's going to grab the bull by the horn. I think we'll do all right this year in cross country as well.
Right now, softball still a young team, just trying to build a foundation. Only played 8 games last year, but who's the softball coach? And what are the upcoming expectations for this season for the softball team?
Well, softball is always one of those tough sports we try to build for. Number one, the atmosphere alone, being out in the sun is draining for the girls, especially our first timers, which we normally always have a lot of first timers.
Right.
But Diana Lee does a great job. She's actually going to be the PE teacher at Georgetown Elementary. She does a great job of making sure that the girls have what they need. And just making sure that they stay focused, and don't let the element carry them, or take them out the game. So it's just one of those things where, Diana, she actually this year was thinking about bringing on an assistant coach because she'll be retiring, and she wants to develop another coach. So that's the name of the game is passing it and paying it forward to the next people. So we have Miss Stringer. She's going to come on. She's going to help. She's going to shadow. She's going to be that person in the background for Mama Lee. I call her Mama Lee just because, she brings that motherly atmosphere. She's going to be stern on you at times, but at the same time, everything she does with love and care. So, I mean, that's the type of person I always want around me.
Right. And flag football, which it's a fall sport, but it's usually later in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the flag football coach? And I know that last year you had a different coach that's not going to be the flag football coach because they have a new job. But just talk about who the new flag football coach is.
Well, last year we had Taylor Farley
That's right.
as the flag football coach. Taylor did a great job. It was not her first sport. It was just something that she stepped in with. Man, I saw that she was passionate about what she was doing. Even if she didn't all the way understand or know what to do, she went, researched it, looked to see what she can get done with it. So she was our coach last year, but we moved her over to girls basketball this year because that's what she does. So flag right now, we're still on the hunt
Right.
as far as finding out who we want to take that job. Right now, we're going to have some of the football coaches. They'll actually be helping the girls to develop and work on those basic skills until we can actually name somebody for that position.
And by the way, we were there for the first ever flag football media days from Muskogee County. I know that we talked to Coach Farley, and Kendrick girls flag football team was featured on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I love the tri matches, Otis Spencer Stadium. They split the field in 2, and it was great to be able to feature Kendrick girls flag football, and we're excited about this upcoming season.
Oh, for sure. Flag football is definitely a growing sport. It's probably right up there with the number one growing sport. I mean, with girls starting to now become scholarship in that area.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. So you're going to have a lot of attention being drawn to that sport. And, we just want to make sure that when we put somebody in position that they're the right person for that fit and they have a passion about it.
All right, let's talk cheerleading because there's 2 different types of cheer. Do you have a game day cheer and a competition cheer?
We don't do competition cheer, but trust and believe me, Alexis Jones, she makes sure that every time she steps on the field, it's a competition.
Right.
To make sure that they know that she does everything she has to with these girls, whether it's academically, the way they carry themselves. It's just overall, it's a great atmosphere whenever you're dealing with Kendrick girls cheerleading. And so Alexis Jones, she does a great job of that. And as I said, she's like the backbone of this program because it's a lot of behind the scenes things that she does that you don't really give her credit. You may say her name and say thank you, but I can never really thank her enough for the things that she does.
All right, Coach. We're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk winter sports as you're watching Sitting with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs live from Kendrick High School on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Hi, my name is Griff Gordy, and here at Gordy Eye Care, we have been serving the Bi-City community for 17 years. As a former state championship quarterback, I love the fact that I can watch local high school athletics from the comfort of my own home. So it was a no-brainer to support Georgia Alabama Sports Live and what they do for young athletes in our area.
And without business like yourself, Gordy Eye Care, none of our coverage would be possible. To be able to cover the 16 different high schools, the local colleges, and professional teams. So we'd like to say thank you to you, Dr. Griff Gordy and Gordy Eye Care, for your support of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And then you can make an appointment today at Gordy Eye Care with the number 334-291-5125. Keep supporting Gordy Eye Care and keep watching Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
And welcome back to Sitting Down with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs, live from Kendrick High School with Coach Andre Dye. Now let's talk winter sports. We're going to start with wrestling, as the wrestling coach is Anthony Mitchell. How long has he been the wrestling coach, and what are they looking forward to for this upcoming season?
Well, he's been the head coach for 5 years. I'm trying to think on how long he's been with the program, because I know he was behind the scenes as well before I got here, and he was helping as an assistant coach with Andre Slappy. And so Mitchell has always been on. So he's also a former alum. He's alumni of Kendrick High School. So he's been with the program ever since graduation. Really, he went off the military, retired, and came back and helping out as much as he can. So. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When it comes down to wrestling, it's one of those programs where Coach Mitchell does a great job. He runs his own program, not just the boys but the girls as well. He has assistant Coach Harvey. Coach Harvey helps him out, and they take the time to make sure they show the kids the ins and outs on wrestling. If you get me down there, I ain't gonna lie to you, I probably couldn't tell you much. I mean, Hulk Hogan was my favorite wrestler, so some of the moves that I'm teaching may be illegal, but Coach Mitchell, he's also a wrestler himself, so he's been there before. He also gets a lot of kids in school. That's one of the things that I really admire about him, is that he takes the time. He really loves what he's doing. That's the thing that I said as an athletic director you look for, is because you find a passion within a coach of what they do, and he is definitely within his passion. So.
Yeah, let's talk swimming. It's more of an individual sport. And a lot of schools in this area may have one or two swimmers. They can't really swim as a team.
Right.
But we were talking off air that you had one swimmer last year. But who is the swim coach? And are we expected to see a growth in swim here at Kendrick?
Oh, for sure. Coach Jacobs. Coach Jacobs is excited to be the swim coach. Last year was her first year. She swam before, but the thing is, she's never been a coach. So when I tell you she was excited to do it, she went around the school and she had to go find somebody. Now, at first it started out, she had 5 swimmers, but they quickly realized that swimming is not just jumping in the pool or jumping off the diving board. You actually have to compete, and she maintained and kept one swimmer that I can't remember her time, but she made a huge development within 1 year. And so she's a returning swimmer. Locke is her name. She's going to be a returning swimmer. And when I tell you, Ms. Jacobs is out trying to recruit kids and up and coming 9th graders and promote it, I think she's going to have a very good year this year and possibly get out there maybe about at least 5 or 6 kids.
All right, let's talk girls basketball. Got a new head coach of the girls team, and a familiar face to the Kendrick program, Coach Taylor Farley, who was a member of that championship team in 2014 under Coach Hicks. Just talk about what Coach Farley brings to just building the program back up, because we know where it was and where it can be. But just talk about the type of coach that Taylor Farley is, and what kind of culture is she developing here at Kendrick to try to get girls to buy into her program?
Coach Farley is a general. And when I say a general, it's a terminology that goes, and you can relate it to basketball, you relate it to the military, pretty much the structure and discipline that she brings to the girls' programs that she touches, and it's amazing to watch. I watched her during flag football, and the way that she had the girls to carry themselves, the togetherness that she brings, the culture that she created for them. Now that she's actually within her passion of coaching basketball, I think she's going to thrive. Now she is in the powerhouse region
Oh, no
where
question.
where we got the state championships returning.
Final Four team in Carver.
Final Four team in Carver. Sumter team was amazing. The list goes on and on the competitions that she's going to be up against. But she said something within an interview, and it stuck with me. And she said, "Coach, I just want to get the girls better one day at a time. And I know what it's going to take to rebuild this program. It's going to take commitment from the girls. It's going to take structure, organization, and we just got to do it every day. We got to be consistent with it." And so when she told me that, I was kind of, reassured that she'll be fine with what she's doing because she has a plan, she has a structure, and I think that throughout time, all she needs is time to develop what she really wants to build over there.
It's about these girls buying into her program. I mean, I
Absolutely.
saw some improvements from last year. I mean, it expected returning players, Trinity Patrick, who had a
For
good
sure.
season last year, Jordan Chilius,
Correct.
losing to Maya Collins, but
Hmm.
this team is just it's about improving. And it obviously in a tough region, probably one of the toughest regions in 2A,
Correct.
it's really about just continuing to improve. Hi, Coach. Now let's talk about the boys basketball team. Being the head coach, made history last year, making the playoffs in a very tough region, which had 5 teams make the playoffs. But you had a young team last year, started 11-1,
Hmm.
and had some pretty decent wins. And injuries did have a losing streak there, but led by Noah Harris, who was sensational. Jeremiah Johnson. You are losing Cash Elder, but
Hmm.
you do have a young team coming back. Just 15-12 last year. They lost to South Atlanta, but who knows what could have happened if you had your full team. One thing I was impressed about last year, Coach, was your run in the region tournament, almost beating Sumter County.
Hmm.
But just talk about the progression from year one to year two, going into this season, especially having a young team that you have.
Well, I mean, of course, you always want your guys to develop. That's one of the things that you really set your sights on as a coach. When you have young talent, um, you always want to see them grow. And I've had the opportunity to watch a good group grow into a mature group right now. We still got some growth to do. We want to keep getting better every day. But last year was an amazing year. We started out really strong, as you said. We were 11-1. Probably could have been 12-0, but hey, it wasn't our cards. It wasn't our opportunity. So what we did last year though, it was a good start. We did have an injury, a couple injuries actually that set us back. Jeremiah Johnson being one of the biggest ones, with him coming out with the ACL, and it just, we were trying to find the right fit. So during that time, it was going into the region play, which hurt us a lot. So we lost a couple games, but by the time we got to the region tournament, we were actually back going. And we made the playoffs, made the state not championship, but
Yes.
the state tournament first round. That was a huge experience for the kids, with them being majority sophomores and juniors. We did lose some key guys, Cash Elder, Quayshawn Mahone, which was my floor general. And then, some of my guys that played a role of leadership with Isaiah Whitley and Jarvis Tutton. Um, losing those key guys and trying to grow this group of sophomores and juniors into now being seniors and juniors. Hopefully they'll set the tone for the up and coming freshmen that we have coming in. So I think we have an opportunity to go far this year. I let the kids know that, hey, look, it's a lot of expectation coming. You got the city on notice now, and they're paying attention.
Yes.
So we got to start making sure that we carry ourselves that way. That we not only are just trying to win games, we're trying to win games the right way. So we develop a program, not just a season.
All right, Coach. Before we talk spring sports, let's elaborate a little bit on the summer league,
Mhm.
because you had a pretty good run with many different places like CSU,
Mhm.
Lake Point, Kennesaw State,
Mhm.
and also What's it like to coach your son? You got your son playing with you now, and you got a chance to coach him in the summer leagues.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. It's what I've been waiting on pretty much his whole life. Um, I've been coaching him since he was born. He grew up with a ball in his hand. So it's definitely one of those moments where you like having a rival moment where you like, man, this is pretty special. This is kind of what I do it for. All my sacrifices have led up to this point. It's a blessing, but it's also going to be work though. He understands that and he knows that. It's not always going to be peaches and cream. We're in the gym almost every other night, trying to get those extra workouts in, trying to make sure that he understands the importance of the role that he's going to play with the program. He understands he's a ninth grader, and just being honest, he embraces that because he grew up with a lot of the guys in my upperclassmen and
Right.
grew up watching them, and he's always been a fan. He's been one of their biggest supporters before they even knew him. So it's a blessing now that he gets a chance to be a part of that. I got a couple, other ninth graders. One of his best friends, Miles Souvenir. He'll be coming up with him.
Nice.
So yeah, we got a pretty good ninth grade group that's going to step on the scene with us that had a chance to experience a lot of this.
Yeah, and you were able to make an impact in the summer league. Just talk a little bit about some of the teams you played and some of the places that you played this summer.
Oh man, I got to talk. I got to start with some of the top teams we played. We played Riverwood. They were a pretty good team. Montgomery Academy, down in Montgomery.
Who
They
won
were
the state championship in Alabama?
they did
Yeah.
last year, and we played against Putnam County. They were also a tough team. They went 27-3, I think. We played against some pretty good teams this summer. We won some, we lost some. Calhoun County, where they were pretty decent this last year. They're developing again this year. They got a young group, but their young group moved just like the older group. Uh, so as far as playing tough talent, man, we definitely put ourselves out there this summer where I wanted them to have some different variety of styles that we were going to play against. I wanted to be tested. And I think, for example, we stood the test. Like we played Carrollton and LaGrange. Started out, they had us down by like 20 points.
Yeah.
I mean, it came all the way back, fought all the way back. It was one of those lessons that you learn. We lost by 2 or 3 at the end of the game, but it was one of those lessons that you learn from. And I think my boys are starting to mature. I think it was definitely a growth year. And as I said, for my younger group to have the opportunity to take that ride, to see all those different college coaches, to play inside the bigger gyms and the universities and stuff like that, it's something that you can't recreate. It's something that when they get opportunity to see it, they're exposed to it, and I hope we don't move backwards. We just grow from it.
Yeah, looking forward to the upcoming season and how it's going to play out. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk spring sports here live from Kendrick High School. It's Sitting with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Get ready to smile. It's Truck Month at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of brand new full-size Chevrolet Silverados. Discounted up to $13,750 off. New 2025 Chevy Equinox, the compact SUV that features high-tech options and discounts up to $5,000 off. You can enjoy no payments until July. People from all over the USA save at Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back to Sitting Down with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs, live from East Columbus on the campus of Kendrick High School, here with the Athletic Director, Coach Andre Dye. Now let's talk about the spring sports. And I want to start with baseball because history was made a couple of years ago on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and it featured Kendrick baseball. It was the longest game that we have done in the history of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We've done doubleheaders before, but this was a single game that lasted 5 hours.
Yes.
As you're able to defeat Spencer 27-26. It was an exciting game, a back and forth game.
Sure.
It went 8 innings. Spencer was up 18-3.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a team that had some very talented baseball players like Tristan Holzendoff.
Correct.
I know that I had a lot of fun calling the game.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
you joined me on the broadcast a couple of times. I thought that game was very important for us to live stream because it really put Spencer baseball and Kendrick baseball really in the limelight. That these players can say, "Oh, we were featured on Georgia Alabama Sports Live too," it got the community excited. Especially, you have just outstanding facilities down the hill, and just talk about the baseball team having to make that transition from one coach because Coach Peak retired. You had a new head coach last season, didn't win a game, but you saw the growth of these players. I mean, you had talented players like Tavian Leonard, but just talk about the coach for the Kendrick baseball team and what's to look forward to this upcoming season.
Well, I mean, can't go forward without speaking about Coach Pete. Coach Pete was he's a legend around here.
Yes, he was.
And he's still in the building as he works 49%. But he's a good guy, man. He's a mentor for Coach Harvey, who's our new head baseball coach.
Right.
And the thing about it is, the tradition that Pete started is just being carried over from Harvey. But within anything that you do where you have transitions, you're gonna have rough periods. We had a rough year last year, but it was a learning year last year because Coach Harvey, that was his first time coaching, being the head coach of any sport. He's actually playing still. He plays football, arena football.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so but like anything you do is like everything you do.
Exactly.
He gives his all with everything that he does. So I mean, when I seen him down there coaching, he's definitely committed to it. You think Kendrick and you're like, oh, it's not a baseball school, but in reality, you can tell by the way that he conducted himself and the way he demanded the respect and the potential of the kids to step up.
And I want to elaborate that on Coach because even though Kendrick's not known for baseball, they did win the state championship in the '70s.
Correct.
We've had baseball players that went through Sally Little League and a former Kendrick Cherokee. By the way, a big shout out to the Brookstone championship coach Greg Mathis, who played at Kendrick. I mean, so there is history there with baseball. And also, moving into the region with Columbus, Shaw, Jordan, Hardaway all made the playoffs last year. It was a very tough region.
Yeah.
And the sky is the limit because you have the facilities, you have the athletes. I mean, you have athletes that come from Sally Little League and that play in baseball at Kendrick. I think that they're just going to continue seeing growth and improvement. And one thing that I love about the Kendrick athletes is because they are athletes, you're able to play small ball. I mean, you're able to get a guy like Tavian Leonard leading the team in stolen bases, and that's how you're able to manufacture runs. And the pitching and the hitting and the fundamentals of baseball will eventually come. But I'm really excited about getting back in live streaming games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live for Kendrick baseball.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm gonna say it like this. Kendrick in that area we're developing. Kids are actually committed. We have a nice batting cage down there.
Oh, nice.
Man. So yeah, they get opportunity to get in, get their swings on. Working on their fielding and everything. It's one of those things where you have a good coach in front of you, with Coach Harvey, and this being his first year, it's a lot of things that he had to learn. So he was learning along the way, and with us announcing him as being the head baseball coach so late last year, this year he's going to get out to a better start. He's going to be able to develop and build that program from the jump. And I think that they're definitely headed in the right direction. It's just one day at a time. Get better with each day.
Exactly. It's about the kids buying into Coach Harvey's program, and those wins will eventually come. But let's go ahead and transition from baseball to tennis. Who is the tennis coach? And where did they practice at Cooper Creek? I mean, I know with the facilities down, is there like possibility of maybe having tennis courts on campus, or do you guys play at Cooper Creek and practice there?
Well, we got a good slab out there right next to the student parking lot. They get a lot of practice out there, but also, I think maybe about 2 times a week they may go down to Otis Spencer and get some practices in.
Gotcha. Yeah, because they do have the tennis courts there too.
They go to Cooper Creek, get practices in, so they get a feel of a real tennis court. But when it comes down to just striking and different things of that nature, the swings, and just body movement in general, Miss Foster, she's the head head coach for tennis, and she has a passion in it. I'm real big on trying to find people that are passionate about what they do. She is a first year coach though, and she's been a player her whole life. So it is, of course, it's a transition within trying to be from a player to a coach, because now you going from actually hitting the ball yourself to trying to instruct others to do it. So it's going to be a curve in there that she's definitely she has experienced this year. But by the end of the year, I think she had pulled out a couple wins, monumental wins, I would like to say,
Nice.
just because it was her first wins. And it was something that we celebrated. Of course, I let her know, great job on mentoring, guiding, and pushing the kids to be better within the sport every day. So that was a great thing. I got a couple new coaches, like I said, all around the board. So she was one of the bright spots this year.
All right, coach, let's talk track and field. I think it's very important that you have adequate track facilities, which you do have because you have the track that's down with all your athletic facilities. Talk about who the track and field coach is. Is it for the boys and the girls, or do you have
Mhm.
separate coaches for both?
Well, Coach Tony Moses is the head coach.
Gotcha.
He's also a former alumni. He's well known within the community. They call him Coach Timo. He's still
Nice.
playing in the 40 and over leagues and everything like that. So he's still active. Timo is definitely another ball of energy. I can honestly say that he was a life of party back when he was in high school, college, all around, and track always been his thing. So putting him in that situation where he has the opportunity to go back and help the sport that helped get him through school it was pretty good and cool to see myself, because I grew up with Tony. We were young. We both went to Diamond and Rothschild, and he was a little older. He was around my brother's age, but I had the opportunity to see his growth from being just a regular teacher to being a coach. As I said, this was his second year doing it, and it's different when you go from being an actual track runner or something to actually being the head. And now it's logistics
Nice.
and everything like that you got to factor in. So I think he did a great job though, and he's doing a great job, and it's going to continue to get better every day.
All right. Girls and boys soccer, it is the fastest growing sport here in Columbus. I have witnessed it myself,
Yeah,
having
for
two
sure.
daughters play soccer at Woodruff Farm Soccer Complex, and also with the outdoor teams, the club teams around the area.
Mhm.
The foundation can be there because you have competitive people that want to play soccer and just get involved. But talk about we'll start with the girls coach, who the girls coach is, and also the boys coach, and really what is the goal to try to get these soccer teams just to play games and just to be competitive, especially in the region.
Man, yeah, I think we're in a great situation when it comes down to soccer. We always wind up having some studs. I mean, and I'm talking about we had for my 5 years being here. Like last year, we had Jarice Tutton. Jarice Tutton was amazing. Fifi, he was another player for us that was just amazing. And when I tell you that these guys are naturals, they're naturals. I see them play like, and then I go to Woodruff Farm and I watch rec league team. They're out there as well. The men's league. So soccer has its own community
Absolutely.
in our area, and it's so if you play on one league, you probably gonna play on another league and stuff like that, so on and so forth. I know because my son he plays soccer as well. Coach Souvenir down in East Columbus, his son plays, so we wind up seeing each other a lot and actually participating with each other in sports and stuff like that. But yeah, our head boys is Manuel Brown still. He does a phenomenal job. He has some pretty good community coaches that come in and help and make sure that the kids, if he doesn't understand the skill, he's getting it, because as I said, it's his own community. For my girls, we have Mr. Daniels. He's our graphic arts and design teacher that also has a background in soccer. So when we give the kids the opportunity to develop and grow, we just want to keep them kids around coaches that understand and know what they're doing. And that's what my guys do. So if it's something that they don't know, they'll grab a community coach somewhere and say, "Hey, you want to help?" we go from there.
There is one sport I do want to ask about because there are some Muskogee County schools that have this sport.
Mhm.
Is there a possibility about getting a golf team in the future?
We have a golf team.
Do have a golf team? Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Headed by Hunter Farrell. She is so the thing about our golf team is we did not actually play regional this
Got
year.
it.
That's so but we do have as they say a JV golf team, which means that we have a lot of JV first timers introduced because golf you don't want to just put a kid out there and,
No,
and,
not at all.
and stick him on there going the 19, 18 holes or nothing like that. You don't. So you want to give them the opportunity to be introduced to the sport. And I think Ms. Hunter Farrell is a great coach because she played herself and now is instructing. See, that's the theme. We wanted to get people that actually played, that have a passion about what they're doing, and we want them to teach what they have learned to the kids so that it's a lifestyle, not just a season. And so that's what we're doing. And she played the JV season this year just to introduce, it's a lot teaching them how to putt. It's a lot teaching them how to drive and just putting a club in their hand in the first place. Putting the ball on the tee can be a challenge for a first timer. So yeah, she's does a great job with that.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing the growth and the development of the golf team. And this is a golf town. You got some great golf courses at Bull Creek. You got the 9-hole course down at Oxbow, of course, Maple Ridge. And it's just a sport that, it really takes a lot of patience and time to just go out and hit 18 holes of golf. So
Yeah, for sure.
definitely. And there is one more sport that I know we talked before we started this thing was esports. Is there been talks about possibly having esports in the future?
Well, we're going to look into it this year. I was talking to my assistant athletic director, Coach May, Sheldon May, and we were trying to see if that was an avenue we can go down. Finding somebody that can lead it, that's more the challenge. Somebody that commit themselves to actually doing it. I think that eventually we will pick up in that area because it is growing. It's growing extremely fast, actually.
Yeah.
So it's becoming the new wave. But we decided that we're going to look into it this year and see if we can actually get it done.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our final break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap this thing up talking about facilities, what's been going on in the campus, and ways that Kendrick alumni can support the Kendrick Cherokees. Don't go anywhere. It's Sitting with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs, live from Kendrick High School on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the Ambassador Scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.
Right, and we'll wrap it up quick.
Yeah.
Man,
You good?
these so far so good, man.
We can go into it.
And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Sitting Down with an Athletics Director, State of the Program, here with Coach Andre Dye. And Coach, last year we did this. I know that they were doing some renovations around the front of the school, and obviously it looks fantastic. Everything is finished. Has there been any other projects, any improvements, especially down with the athletic facilities that are in the works?
Well, right now, man, as I said before, it feels like a new K-Town. That's what we call it.
Love it.
We embrace that. It's a new K-Town. The front of the building looks amazing. I'm in part of it, and it doesn't even really feel like I'm on the same campus,
Yeah.
But we're catching up to that throughout the whole building now. Like this year they went and they repainted every room in the building. Of course, you get your floors done and everything like that. The gym has been renovated. We got new bleachers, new floor. As I said, they painted everything. So we're getting up to that point where it's starting to really look and become a new K-Town overall.
Well, that is great to
Mhm.
hear. Obviously, I talk to people in the community all the time.
Mhm.
There's always people that they went to Kendrick. There's a
Right.
lot of pride in going to Kendrick. I mean, this is when you think of East Columbus, you think of Kendrick because proximity to the city of Columbus.
Mhm.
Everything that is east of I-185 is Kendrick. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Kendrick Town,
For sure.
and definitely K-Town is, as you say.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a lot of pride. But my final question to you, Coach, is if you are a Kendrick alum, if you support Kendrick athletics, how can you give your support to the athletic programs here at Kendrick?
Well, it's multiple ways. Of course, monetarily, we definitely could use the funding. Supporting Kendrick in any aspect, whether it be for sports or um, any venture within the school, we definitely appreciate that and it's very much so needed. But there are other ways of supporting as well. Number one, just coming out to the games,
Absolutely.
being seen, giving back. If donating cases of water, Gatorades. If you want to give anything of that nature to liquid detergent so we can wash the clothing and stuff like that. Anything like that. We have fundraisers, just make yourself visible, support, promote it. And another way that you can really support Kendrick is, as I like to say, good vibes only. If you would, come out, see us, walk the halls, get a feel for Kendrick, and go back and tell people what you saw. A lot of time we get some of the negative feedback. People that haven't been in Kendrick or never even stepped foot on the campus, they may say some things or whatever, but the ones that's actually been here and actually saw what we have going on at Kendrick, you can tell it's a great atmosphere. As I said, I'm bringing my kids, so I know what Kendrick can do for kids. Academically, we right up there. We would love to support. You can reach out, come if you want to make donations, come up to the school front office, and just give any way you can.
Well, I'm excited about this upcoming season, and we're excited about live streaming Kendrick Athletics. I mean, it's always a pleasure sitting down and talking with you, Coach. And thanks again for taking time out of your busy schedule here on Sitting with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs.
Man, thanks for having me on, Richard. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you.
The pleasure as always. That is the athletic director of the Kendrick Cherokees, Coach Andre Dye. Thank you, everybody, for watching another episode of Sitting with an Athletic Director, State of the Programs, here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Everybody, have a great rest of your night, and we will see you next time.